teachers union. That they wanted to pull, I'm gonna say it again. They wanted to pull slavery out and act like it never happened. And they want us to subscribe to, oh, you came over here for like labor. No, we didn't come over here for labor. This is how we got over here. We got over here in cargo slave ships like this, the hard way. And oh yeah, a lot of these pictures, they go back to the 19th century. It's a book called Without Sanctuary. When we supposed to have been free, they were still hanging us in the north. But they try to teach you that the south was all bad and it was all the south. When you came up north, everything became hunky-dory. Then in that case then, what happened to Black Wall Street then? Since everything was so hunky-dory. And we were just all neighbors living as one under Christ. And why is Texas chosen to play with the historical history books? Because you got a secret society order down here called the Skull and Bones through Yale University, which Bush, Daddy Bush, was all a part of. Oh, I'm making it up. Oh, I'm making it up. Oh, okay. Let me show you something. Since I'm the crazy dude, and I make everything up, right? Right? I'm the crazy guy that just make everything up, right? So why in this book called The Secret Society, on page 31, you got John Kerry and Daddy Bush and Baby Bush with a Yale University sweater on, a part of the Skull and Bones. These are facts. Look, I'm gonna show it to y'all. Look, page 30. Wait, let me show you the book first. Y'all know you ain't got that no more. Right? Here go the temple, Skull and Bones Hall, nicknamed the Tomb. Skull and Bones, the society headquarters in New Haven, Connecticut. See that? But then when you go down here, John Kerry, and look, here go Bush and his daddy right there. There go Baby Bush, and there go Daddy Bush. See that? Bushman. Also, above, a bonesman and a legend bonesman sport their Yale sweaters. See that? The 41st president, George, hold on, got the flyers. George H.W. Bush, holding the 34th president, George W. Bush, circuit 1946. But y'all better stop playing, man. See that? Facts. Hold on, let me keep my page though, because I'm doing a lesson on that later on. I'm gonna need that. See that? So they're a part of these secret societies. That's why here in Texas, they went on and tried to pull that move that they was gonna pull slavery out the textbooks. See that? And I don't see the federal government. Y'all right about shooting. I ain't see y'all say nothing. So let's keep it stepping. Keep this train smoking. What it say? It say the new pattern of using the schools to mold the characters. The government, I already read that. Oh, no. The new patterns of using the schools to mold the characters of the government, one has been featured by the National Union of School Teachers, the National Education Association, in one of their reports entitled Education for the 70s. See that? I was born 79. And I remember for a fact that my school teacher, I think 5th grade, she laid out a whole bunch of African books on the back table and told us to come look at them because these are our ancestors. And I can remember my sister and I, especially me, I had a problem with that. Because when I'm looking at these Africans in this book, I'm saying to myself, man, my aunt would never put no nose ring in her ear like that big. She wouldn't dare stretch her neck out and put all those tribal markers on her face like that. I can't never imagine myself walking around naked like that. Y'all crazy. Let's keep it moving. This is crazy to think about. Schools will become clinics whom purpose is to provide individuality, psychosocial treatment for the students. And teachers must become psychosocial therapists. Right, so the teachers in school implant your child with the thoughts of the government. That's why they got a problem with us at this school my son goes to called Sycamore. Because his mother and I, wait till they see his older brother. And those of y'all in Kenosha, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure y'all called down here and told them, look, man, dude is an Israelite. He taught his kid it his whole life. And that's why he got that straight look on his face that ain't no jokes or games around here. They got the Israelite man around here being the dancing lion. Meanwhile, they the hyenas and jackals, these Edomite, Caucasian white folk, taking us apart one at a time while y'all dancing and joking. Well, it don't like I'm dancing and joking out here doing it. And all I'm doing is reading out the Bible and reading books that got facts in it. But guess what? It's one thing that Satan can't, one thing Satan don't like, the light. Okay, it said, this will include biometric and psychologically medication of learning as drugs are introduced experimentally to improve the learning such quality as personality, concentration, and memory. Right, so the only thing they have us do is remember they dates, they leaders, and they areas that they want us to know about. They ain't gonna speak about nothing about the ancient world. They ain't gonna teach you nothing about the Bible. All they gonna teach you is about is who? Christopher Columbus, and the idea that he discovered a whole land that had over 100 million people on it. Which he didn't even make it over here. Let's start saying that right. He made it over to Hispaniola, which they killed 10 million in less than a couple of years. Where Christopher Columbus said it himself, since he's been to that land, he hasn't put his sword down not one day. But they still have monuments of this guy, and they still have dates that we must celebrate today. Nope. Children are to become the object of experiments. Such experiments on children today include the use of drugs. That's why I told you they drugging us up. And look what the first drug is: Ritalin, to improve the behavior of certain of the students. Right, to calm the Israelite man down. The blacks, and Native Americans, they use Ritalin to humble and calm them down for having all that expressive energy and thoughts like they supposed to. That Umar Johnson, he do a good job. So you got to give respect where respect is due. Umar Johnson, he do a good job. Look up Umar Johnson, and he'll go into the drugs in the school system, and he been doing seminars and sermons on this now, man, to stop letting these people drug your kids up. But it wasn't always this way. The Americans did not turn their children over to the state to be educated by them in the beginning. And that's like my son. My son, he learned, he'll tell you himself, 90% of what he knows today, he learned it from home. So what's going on with the rest of you parents? That's because, matter of fact, it's a woman named Isabel, Charlotte Isabel. Look that up. Her name is Charlotte Isabel. She from Russia. And that Communist Manifesto from Karl Marx that was used over there with Russia, America adopted them techniques here to America. So Charlotte Isabel, which is called the deliberate dumbing down of American society, she goes through that. She tell you why the school system is set up the way it's set up. Where you got a PA system screaming and yelling, that's stopping the concentration of kids. How you gonna have a PA system that comes on every 30 seconds of a minute to call somebody down to the office? Why? It's to distract the kids from actually being able to have concentration and focus. That's why a lot of you parents today, they did it with the iPods and y'all smartphones, where y'all can open up 3 to 4 different sites at once, so y'all don't have any concentration. The Americans did not turn their children over to the state to be educated by them in the beginning. In fact, the original school in America were private, basically Christian. And that's exactly what I raised my son up on. See that? The real Christianity, Judaism. Because we are the Jews. And the law, statutes, and commandments is our book. And them are to be taught and implemented in their life to do thou good. That's what I just got done saying earlier. In fact, the original schools in America were private, basically Christian schools, where the children were taught by the parents or by teachers hired by the parents. The original textbook was the Bible. Exactly, see that? The original textbook was the Bible. Now y'all bring the Bible out every Sunday, and y'all get it like them some fictional characters. See that? Because if your kids knew about the Bible and the origins and the text of it, they'll know and be able to identify today, like I can identify, that America has to be Sodom and Gomorrah. This will have to be Babylon the Great. We got too many Babylonian customs and too many LGBTs running around here for this not to be Sodom and Gomorrah. And what did the scripture say was going to happen in Sodom and Gomorrah? Read it to y'all. Let me show you what the Bible said was going to happen to a place called Sodom and Gomorrah. It's happening all over again. Get that. This 2 Peter 2:4. For if God spared not the angel that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, that's talking about us today, all you idiots. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in a flood upon the world of the ungodly. And that's what you actually see me doing. I'm preaching righteousness to bring in what? The flood of fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemning them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after shall live ungodly. And deliver just Lot, vexed with his filthy conversation of the wicked, from that righteous man dwelling among them, which that's what I see, in sin and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. That's why they put them on all these black women shows. And what the black woman got going on, which was Eve, she bring Adam right to the TV. Watch this. No, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching no man dressed up as no woman with no pumps or high heels on. When the Bible just told me that Sodom and Gomorrah was an example to not do. But what happened when Lot left out of Sodom and Gomorrah? What happened? His wife looked back. A lot of our black, Latin, Native American women, they all with their LGBT. And they gonna die right here in America by thermonuclear fire. The government ain't gonna be able to save you, because if they was, they'll be telling you what I'm telling you according to the Bible. The same one that we got the pastor reading every Sunday, and the same one that's in all these so-called law buildings where they got you swearing in on. That's how you know that this is a hypocritical place. This place is a hypocritical place all day long. See, they tell you don't unlawfully hold the person against their will, right? Which that's called what? False imprisonment. But then Trump go and imprison a whole bunch of Latins and separate the mother from the children. That's what I mean by hypocritical. Like, what is you talking about? But you know what? Trump is a stump reminder to you black, Latin, and Native American women that these Edomite, Caucasian white folks don't like people of color all day long. They'll do business with you, of course, because they just using your talent. But they ain't tell you that the business was over here in America either, did they? They ain't tell you that, did they? While a lot of them fleeing over the China. Meanwhile, we just here. So now y'all know about Sodom and Gomorrah on what not to do. And then you got the black woman listen to retarded ass Moabite, Ammonite, Chinese, Japanese, like this. Okay, let's keep going. Now I'm on 384 with the school system. I'm gonna be jumping around a little bit, but Texas is very known through the Skull and Bone to actually set up the school system on why they work the way they work. I'm just bringing the facts out. These were those. Okay. These were those who persisted in their effort to involve the federal government in the process of educating the children of our nation. One of those was the father of modern socialism, Robert Owen. A lot of y'all don't know who Robert Owen is, but he's the father of socialism, who actually taught the federal and local state government on how to set up the Communist Manifesto through Karl Marx to set up the school system. That's why it's called a deliberate dumbing down of American society. If I start asking people questions right now, just on geographical locations, they don't know. They don't know. But if I ask them what's Lil Wayne what's Lil Wayne take that's coming out and what date is dropping, oh, they know all that. Let's keep going. The Owenton realized that the children had to be separated from their parents so that they could be taught the merits of the socialist system. That's why every day my son come home, I ask him, what did you learn? What happened? Give me your book bag. Give me all your work. And I screen all his textbooks. I go through chapter after chapter. Matter of fact, I tell him, and you notice now, they don't even allow the textbooks to come home. Y'all peep that, right? So whatever they have in them textbooks at school, you know our kids are not allowed to bring the textbook home. So that was another way for them to keep us from knowing what they teaching our kids. And why do they skip so many chapters in school? How you gonna learn from a book when you go from chapter 1, 2, 7, 12, 16, 18? So what's all the other chapters about? And they do that in math, English, science. Oh, it ain't enough time in the day. That's because the parents supposed to be doing it at home. I told you 90% of what my son knows, he learned from me, starting with the principles of the Bible. That's why a lot of y'all don't stand a chance against him. Because we ain't trying to compete. We just being who we are, Israelites. That's it. We ain't got nothing else to do with everybody else. Okay, let's keep it moving. The education process started as soon as possible. Ages 2 was suggested. Exactly. That's why at age 4 or 3, they got you sending your kids to a daycare. And your kids, what you think a kid gonna learn at the age 2 to 5? Shapes, how to say his name. That's it. So why do y'all have y'all kids in these schools?